at Digital Pigskin. I want to talk about a broken play in Madden. And to me, broken plays really do a good job of showing some of the small nuances and flaws of gameplay that otherwise maybe get overlooked. And obviously you're going to see an example here of not only the game negating ratings in order to ensure that a play diagram is followed, but you're going to get an idea of some of these plays, why people go back and look at replays. Because I see an animation that I haven't seen before, and that's what piques my curiosity to go back and look. A lot of people wonder, why do you guys nitpick? Well, I think it's not nitpicking as much as it is wanting to know why a play does or doesn't work. We're seeing something that looks out of the ordinary and wanting to go back and seeing why it happened. And if there's one thing that we can take as a community over the past 2 or 3 years of, some might say, overanalyzing this game, it's that we've learned that EA does very small, subtle things in order to make reactions in the game. And I think when we expose those things, it helps create a better game. Because when I look at a play and I see this interaction, where players get steered out of the way to essentially create a running lane, I have a problem with this. And at speed, you might not have even noticed this. But when you look at it in the game, it's almost impossible in slow motion to not realize what's going on here. And the problem with this, right now, the defensive end, the tackle, the guard, none of them matter. The speed, the agility, the power moves of the defensive end have no determination of the outcome. The strength, the awareness, the speed, the agility of my offensive linemen mean nothing. Because what we're seeing is two players get forced into each other by a third to create a gap in this line. And that's not how running lanes are made in the NFL, or any football game for that matter. So when I see things like this, that's when I have a problem. But what made me look at this is the animation number 73 has, where he basically just falls to the ground on his face. I found that very odd. And the reason I noticed it is because, as you can see, when I have the ball and you look at the lane I have, there's 3 linebackers that are about to crash down in the running lane. And I decide to cut to the right, where all my linemen are. And when I do that, something interesting happens. I run head on into a lineman. Now, I want you to just take a look at where the line of scrimmage is. It's roughly 2 yards before the 10. And I want you to ask yourself, have you ever seen a lineman be ran into face to face by his halfback a yard after the line of scrimmage? It just doesn't happen. And the problem is, it does in this game. And another problem is, these two don't interact with each other. They motion shift around each other. Because the game doesn't have enough animations to replicate football correctly. It leads you into these extremely awkward situations, where I literally cut back into a line where really only 2 players are doing their job, and 3 of them are on the ground. I mean, the only players that really block here are number 63 and number 79. Number 71, it's going to be difficult to get on him, really finds no assignment other than running in to my halfback. So, like I said, it's little things like this that cause problems. And I want to close this video with, now again that you know the outcome of the play, the procedural awareness of this linebacker. When the ball is snapped, he runs over where the running back is, and he goes to hit the gap in the line, which is, glaring at this point. These linebackers, both of them should really be crashing the way number 55 is. Now, the fact that he doesn't is okay. In fact, it might even show an awareness difference between number 51 and 55. But the problem is he overcommits to the tackle, turns around, extremely fast and then runs backwards up the field and never makes any impact on this play. And to me, part of the reason he makes no impact in the end of the play is because animationally there isn't a 4 or 5 player gang tackle that should have occurred here. But just taking a look at this from his perspective, I really have to wonder how this game is going to make changes to produce fundamental football